Right, so as you can see here on the screen, I will be showing you how to make over 10K per month posting simple videos that are made with AI. And we will be creating the real channels that are getting real results. It's not going to be some bullshit tutorial where I show you how to create YouTube shorts for kids that don't make you any money. Instead, we will be diving into the real YouTube channels, such as this one about some US Navy stuff that are actually printing a consistent income for years, potentially to come. It's not a crash and burn channel that you start, make a few $100 and then it just dies out and never gets anywhere. And it might not look like it, but this channel in particular, they are using AI to automate 90% of the work that they're putting out, cutting costs a lot, making it super cheap to start a channel like this, and also allowing them to post almost once every 2 days, it seems like. But let's just take a quick look at the analytics here to see how this channel is already doing. I've already seen this since before. It's going to say 8K or something like this in the last 30 days. This is not 100% accurate, but let me get to that in just a second. The views in the last 30 days, 1,271,000. RPM, like allegedly by this tool, shows 5.23. But here's why the RPM is actually much higher. So if we take a look at the top demographics that they have, 60% of the viewers are from the United States. And if we take a look at the age share, almost the majority of the viewers are 65 plus years old, or just the ages below. And this is a very good sign, because this means that they have old US viewers watching the channel, a big majority of them, and this will contribute to a much higher RPM than $5. So according to my experience and just having ran hundreds of faceless channels, the RPM would be closer to $10 for a channel like this. And if we then just go ahead and make the conservative calculation of a $10 RPM for 1.2 million views, that would mean that they made over $12,000 in the last 30 days of running this channel. And that is a very big amount of money for someone that started the channel just 3 months ago, posting their first video on this channel 90 days ago. And this leads me on to step number 1, which is finding an unsaturated niche. And I have a very big tip, which is to just use AI for this. There are some very good tools I'm going to show in just a second here that will allow you to find niches like this. And you're free to steal this if this video goes out quite quick. Like Restored Timeline, this is a great niche that you could be getting into right now. Native Decoded, I'll talk more about that during this video. And a very big tip as well, optimize for a US RPM, because you will make more money from your content with the same amount of effort creating it. And that is also why this Native Decoded channel is such a good niche. Because if you are creating content about the US Navy, updates or informative videos on how they operate, whatever, that you will most likely only be attracting a old US audience. And if you then just think logically about this, that is the perfect audience for an advertiser to try and target, and they will pay the most amount of money to reach this kind of audience. So instead of getting a 0.5 cent or $1 RPM posting like kids content about Indian history, this channel has positioned themselves really, really well, and that is why they're able to achieve like a $10 RPM, and RPMs could even go up to $20, $25 for certain niches. Now, the tool that you can use to find these niches is called NextLab. It's a very easy to use tool. You simply press on channels here, long form channels in the left hand side, and here you can filter all of the finds on NextLab for your requirements. So I would, for example, be wanting to see videos that have a high average views and low days since they were started, and it will show me a bunch of channels that fit this one criteria. For example, this factor channel that I've already made a bunch of breakdowns on in the past, 815K views in 2 months ago. That is a very big green flag. And this will allow you to find niches by just scrolling for a few minutes very, very easily. Like 7.7 million views here 2 months ago, making like an AI video about puppies or animals. It's very easy to find niches this way. And if we just scroll up a bit again, like you can filter this for whatever you want, above 50K average video views, meaning that you're only finding channels here that are getting a very high average views. However, in this case, you can see that we are being recommended channels that posted videos 14 years ago, and that would be a very saturated niche that is not advised for beginners. So if you're using this tool, search for low subscribers and high views, and high average views and low days since start. So I just did this scrolling for a few minutes to find a good channel, and I found the Native Decoded channel. But now that we found a channel that looks very good, and it's also very relevant considering the entire world situation right now, it aligns with all of the trends, This means that we can move on to step number 2. And that is creating the content using AI. You'll probably have to take a bunch of notes because we will be going through a lot of information. But the reasons why you should be creating content with AI and not doing it the manual, kind of slow, bad, expensive way with freelancers is, first of all, it is cheaper. You will be able to also create content faster, meaning that you can outcompete people by uploading more than them. And it doesn't require a big team. So you don't have to have any big, complex, or expensive team management platforms, and you don't have to bother communicating with, 5 people just to run one channel. You can usually get away with just hiring a single editor for channels nowadays. So you have a big edge over them to get your channel off the ground easier. And if for some reason you don't believe me saying it, then my students are literally doing it as we speak. So this is the private community that I run where I help people start YouTube channels. And this post is like from yesterday, is already close to hitting monetization, 100K views with what seems to be like 5-6 uploads. That is a very good start for a new channel. And just continuing to scroll here, we will just see more and more channels taking off, people getting monetized, for example, like this person. And this is absolutely crazy. So Reed here has made over $100,000 with the same channel that he started with us just half a year ago. So this is working for people as we speak. Here's another one getting a YouTube payout, $6,500. I'm not trying to show this to flex on you, but rather to show you what is possible if you just sit down, digest the information in a tutorial like this, and really give it your all. Now, before I move on and show you how to create these videos and these channels using AI, I do want to remain transparent and say that this is not a get-rich-quick scheme by any shape, means, or form. If you create a channel like this one, that does not mean that you are going to become a millionaire or even make any money from the channel at all. Normally, the journey, especially for beginners getting into YouTube automation, you have to start 1, 2, maybe even 3 or 4 channels before you start seeing meaningful results and learn how this game works. So it is very unlikely that you, for example, will start a new channel and make $10,000 within 14 or 30 days. You have to think about this like a business that it is. It does take a lot of time and efforts to get started and to get these really cool results. Nonetheless, let's get into creating the videos. So there are 3 components that goes into a video like this. First one being the script. You of course need the information and everything that will be spoken by the voice in the video. So the script is the first step. Then comes the voiceover that actually narrates the video and talks with the viewers. And then the third step would be the editing. Luckily, the script writing and the voiceovers can be done 100% with AI, almost for free. And you would be using a tool called Claude. This tool is very similar to ChatGPT, and you might be wondering why I am not using ChatGPT. It's because Claude can output much longer scripts and is generally much better at copywriting. So ChatGPT is very good for creative thinking and brainstorming, but Claude for copywriting is just superior, and there are some very cool features that we will be using. For example, if you go over to the left-hand side there and press on projects, you will be taken to a view that looks like this. So here you will be able to create your very own custom Claude project, and think of this like an agent that always will write the perfect script for you. You don't have to prompt it from scratch every single time. So you just train it on the information once, and then it will generate you an infinite amount of scripts that are always perfect in the perfect style. And this is also something that you can utilize for a lot of stuff outside of YouTube. So I've already prepared a little prompt here. You can see it says you are a YouTube history scriptwriter. Your role is to generate narration scripts that precisely match the voice, structure, and formatting found in the reference transcripts uploaded to this project. You can also pause the video here and write this down, and I'll just go through the prompt here. It goes for a little bit. I can also paste this in the description, of course, for you guys to have. However, it is a little bit long, so I won't be going through the entire prompt. But you just save the instructions like this. Boom. In the file section, you need to upload a few. I usually recommend 5 transcripts of your perfect reference channel to Claude. And the way that you would do this is just take I've already done the 4 most popular videos, but you take one of the most popular videos like this. Hello. Ignore that. Copy the link to the video, head over to a website like YouTube to Transcript, where you can simply get the transcript very easily, like this. So also, of course, can perform a security verification now that I am recording the video. It will look something like this. Press on copy. You can also even get the transcript from YouTube itself. I believe if you scroll down to the description all the way and then show the transcript, you can copy it right there as well. But then you just head over to a Google document, paste that transcript in there, download it and label it the right way, like script 1 or script 5, whatever it is. Make sure to download it as a TXT file, since that will work the best with Claude. Then simply head back over to Claude and just upload the 5 transcripts that you have extracted like this. Boom, 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 boom. And now your Claude boss here, or Claude agent, whatever you want to call it, is fully ready to simply write you the best possible scripts. Now, I told you that this would be a lot of information, but in order to generate your first script, you would of course need your first topic. And there's a very easy way to generate topics with ChatGPT to make sure that you are following proven concepts, meaning stuff that has already gone viral. That's what is most advised for you as a beginner, but also making sure that you are going off data that makes sense. So you can see this prompt here. Pause the video once again. It says, I will paste in data from my successful competitor channels. I want you to analyze the data based on view count and upload it. With this data, suggest me 5 top video topics that I can make to optimize for proven concepts. Simply then just make a few rows here. Head back over to your competitor channel here, the reference channel that you want to model. Press on popular to make sure that you're filtering for the most popular videos. Then you kind of just want to highlight everything and just copy the information from a lot of their videos like this. Go back to ChatGPT when you've copied that, paste that in. It's going to look a bit weird, but that's completely fine. Send that, and you will now see that ChatGPT will generate a bunch of video topics and information for you to then just learn and use for your own channel. And just taking a look at some of the performance pattern here, so you will see that it analyzed that the videos that are performing the absolute best right now are videos related to like real world ongoing conflicts. And that makes quite a lot of sense. If you post about stuff that is relevant right now, you will get a lot more views. And just scrolling a bit down, you'll see that ChatGPT also ideated perfect viral video topics for you. And there are 2 ways to choose this. So if you want to go the unique route, which is also going to mean that it's slightly less certain you can get a good amount of views, you would pick one of these, preferably the top ranked one. If you want to go with a fully proven concept, which is totally fine, and I would almost recommend it most of the time, you just go to the most popular video on your reference channel and you take the exact same topic that they did, because this really ensures that people actually like the topic. I would just go ahead here and copy the title of the video. Now that we have our topic decided, head back over to the Claude agent that we created and write a script on this topic. Just paste that in, and then your video length, for example, make it 1,500 words, and that would be 8 minutes in spoken length. So generally, when it comes to voiceovers, 1,500 words is on average 8 minutes long. If you make it 3,000 words, that would mean a 16-minute long video. I'm for just this example gonna make it 1,500 words long, but this naval channel, for example, they seem to be making 15 to 20-minute long videos, if I'm not mistaken. And in that case, you would want to do this. So I'll just go ahead and press on the arrow here, and you will see that Claude is going to start generating the script exactly in the format that we like it. And it's just going to keep going like this until the entire script is generated in just pure, like cold, raw text that we can copy into our voiceover software. And that brings me into the next step, which is creating component number 2, the voiceover. So for the example, I'm going to copy the, let's say, hook here like this. I will be heading over to a website called 11 Labs. And this is just the best voiceover software on the planet right now. It is one of the first websites that started making it possible to generate these voiceovers. So they are just the industry kind of leader and the best. In order to find a good voice for your channel, press on the Voices tab right here. Here you can browse through hundreds, if not thousands, of voices. You would generally just want to pick something similar to your competitor. So let's listen to what they have really quick.
The U.S. used rock music to psychologically terrorize the enemy. That was crude harassment.
And as you can see, it's just some kind of middle-aged American voice, which will be very easy for us to find on 11 Labs. You can just filter this for language. Let's do English here. Boom. Accent, American. And you can also do the age here, middle age, for example. You can also do the gender, male, and boom, now we should be able to find some very good ones. So let's just listen to a few here.
I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer.
Could be very good for a Navy channel.
It is a profound truth that the deep things in science are not.
Could also be very good. So you can hear that they sound very similar to our competitor channel. They have the same tone and the same way of expressing things. That's perfect. I'll just go with James here for the example.
I must not fear.
Add it to your voices. Perfect. And now you can just head over to the text to speech tab. So then you just go ahead and paste in your chunk of text here. Press on generate speech and it's going to be done in like a few seconds.
January 3rd, 2026. Caracas, Venezuela, 11:47 p.m. The streets are quiet. The kind of quiet that follows years of collapse.
As you can hear, it sounds perfect. It's honestly crazy the way that you can generate a high quality voice to say anything that you want for a very cheap price. Obviously, the more you use this, and if you generate an entire script, you are going to have to pay for it. But for small chunks like this, it is free. However, if you consider that you 1 year ago, and some people still do this, would have to hire a voiceover actor for, let's say, $50 per video, then this will turn out to be 90% cheaper and save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars every single month just from using, AI instead of going the traditional way. But then when you have generated your voiceover, press on the download button in the bottom right corner and take a little bit. You can see it's now been downloaded up here in the top right corner. So now you can finally move on to the third component, which would be the editing. And during this step, I really want to talk about hiring top-tier freelancers and the importance of outsourcing. So you will not be going big with YouTube automation if you're trying to penny pinch and don't edit anything. Because in order to create content like this, you will need to hire an editor. And if you're afraid to spend money on outsourcing to freelancers, then you will never be able to upload the amount of videos that you need in order to compete with all of these people that are doing it the real way. Because let's be honest, a video like this will take you 2-3 days, maybe even 4 days of editing. And how are you going to upload every 3 days consistently if you are doing the editing yourself, when you most likely also have a full-time job that you have to cater to, a family perhaps? It's not going to be sustainable. So you have to hire an editor if you want to go big. And this is not something that I gain anything from saying. It's simply the reality. You need to be willing to invest into your business to make the big bucks. And for example, all of the people that are getting these crazy results and growing really fast with their channels within the program, all of these people are hiring editors. None of them are doing editing themselves or trying to penny pinch on that front. Now, there are some very important things that you do need to know when it comes to hiring people and freelancers, especially editors. And that is that Fiverr and Upwork and all of these sites that most gurus want to push up in your face, they are generally bad. Sure, they might be easy to use, but they will just end up costing you more money because the freelancers that you will be working with will just be sloppy, they will be bad, and they will also be trying to overcharge you. What you should be using instead is called Discord, and it is the standard community hosting platform. There are big communities for video editors. It's the same platform that I use for my program, and the reason why Discord communities are better than Fiverr is purely based on my experience. This is not something that any beginner would know unless they have been through the experience themselves. Because freelancers on Fiverr, they generally tend to charge you more. They are less familiar with YouTube automation. So a video editor that has never ever edited a YouTube video before, he will lie to you that he has done it before just to get the job. And that's just gonna end up wasting you a bunch of time with bad quality work. Freelancers on Fiverr and Upwork also seem to really overpromise, because the landscape is so competitive here that every freelancer, they literally do everything to get you to hire them, leading to overpromising and just you being dissatisfied with a lot of results. Discord communities like this one, on the other hand, which is called Video Editors, it has 111,000 members, most of them being video editors just trying to learn and become better and talk with each other. It will be a more native place to find freelancers that would provide you good work. And I can also tell you that there are so many people hiring for YouTube automation here that most editors are also familiar with this way of working. So the way that you utilize the community is simply scrolling down here in the channel list to the post a job section. You'll be seeing a kind of embedded that looks like this. Press on the paid request button, and here you will just be filling in what you are looking for. For example, video editor for faceless YouTube channel, like this. Provide links to your references. But let's say we would go with $5 a minute for this kind of content. We would either write $5 per minute like this and see if the post will get approved by the moderators. Sometimes they will tell you that your budget is too low, but then you just write a higher amount here and the post will be approved. And then when you communicate with the freelancers in DM, which will look something like this, you will get so many people reaching out just to get on your project. And you just talk to them and say, hey, I'm going to be transparent. I cannot pay you the amount that was in my job post. This is the actual rate that I can pay you. If that doesn't work for you, then no worries. Thank you for reaching out. And I'm phrasing this very politely here, because if you are impolite to the freelancer, some of them might be like an asshole and they will report you to the moderators, the community, causing you to get banned because you made a false job post. So you have to work diligently with this and just be very polite to everyone. Otherwise, you might be getting into trouble and you have to create a new account, which is wastes a bunch of time. It's going to be annoying. But you just go ahead and strike a deal with the person that can provide you with the best rate and their portfolio and previous work looks good. And then boom, your video will be edited with the assets that you had completed previously, like the voiceover and also the script. And this means that you should now finally have a video done after a few days and you are ready to start posting. Now, in order to make the absolute most of your progress, you need to understand the analytics that you will start seeing from the content that you post. Because in reality, creating the content for your channel is the easy part, but understanding how to iterate and how to strategize is much harder. And this is where most beginners tend to fail with their channels. So here's a channel, for example, it's got 4.8K in the last 28 days. Last 365 days, it has generated, let's see here, over $100,000, $115,000 to be exact. And there are 3 super important metrics that you need to be tracking on your channel in order to make sure it is optimized to get the best possible performance. And go over to the content tab on the left here, then just press on one of your videos. Go to the analytics tab on the left, and here is the first metric. If you then press on reach, you will see the impressions through click-through rate, which is 10.6%. And this is super individual for every single channel, but this metric represents how many people actually got recommended your video in the feed in relation to how many of them clicked on it. So let's say 100 people would be seeing my video in their feed. This means that 10.6 of them clicked on the video and started watching. So this is obviously one of the most important metrics with your channel. And the way that you would figure out what a good CTR is, this is called CTR, is by looking back at the performance and CTR of every single upload when you have posted, for example, 10 videos. And you will see the average click-through rate that most of your videos has, but then also higher levels and lower levels to that CTR. And you want to always, of course, be trying to hit the higher levels. So let's say my channel's average click-through rate is 8%, and this video gets a 10.6% click-through rate. I would start watching the 3 things that can make a difference to the CTR. First of all, being the topic. If many people are super interested in the topic, they're more likely to click on the video. And the next metrics that you really need to keep track of are in the engagement tab. It would be the average view duration and also the average percentage viewed that you can see right here. So the average view duration to start off with would just be the amount in minutes, like time that the average person who views your video stays on the video. So for this video, it would mean that the average viewer stays for 4 minutes and 35 seconds. And then we can also go to view the average percentage viewed. And this refers to how much of the video the average viewer viewed. So in this case, it would mean that the average viewer viewed 30% of our video. Then once you start taking a look at these metrics over a bigger sample size of uploads, let's say 10 or 20 uploads, you will get a bunch of different levels of view duration. So let's, for example, say that the normal average percentage viewed for my channel is 30%. If I then get a video where we get 40% average percentage viewed, that means that the viewer has really enjoyed the video and the video has just better engagement. People tend to stick around watching it for longer. And that, of course, is a very big green flag and something that will make the YouTube algorithm push your video further. So always analyze this for every upload and keep track of which videos and topics tend to keep people around for longer. Now, the last metric you will find here at the bottom of this page, and this is the typical retention graph. So just using this graph, you can see what percentage of people are staying at specific timestamps. So for example, when we're 9 minutes and 30 seconds into the video, usually just 22% of viewers are still watching. And this will give you a very good insight if your hook, for example, is good, since if you compare this between a bunch of videos, you will see that for some videos, people are staying, let's say 100% of people are staying 20 seconds into the video, but for other videos, only 81% of people are staying. That would mean that the first video with a higher percentage of people staying obviously has a better hook, and you should be reusing that concept more in your future videos. So yes, I know that this is self-explanatory and might seem super obvious, but the truth is that so many people don't do this. They just post and then blindly hope that something will go viral, and that is not the strategy that you need if you want to be making money like this channel, for example, or any of the channels that our students are running in the program. Now, before I go, since this tutorial is quite long by now, if you do want my help and my team's guidance into starting channels like this, like for example Reader had, and what allowed him to start his first ever faceless channel and make that generate over $100,000, then I do of course have a coaching program for those that are serious about this, interested, and also willing to invest into their own skill set. So it is not some shitty course where you pay $200 and just get shit. This is a premium coaching program where we find niches for you, get a full community and network of freelancers that already are familiar with the concept of YouTube and the cheapest, best freelancers that I've worked with before. You also get one-on-one coaching from people that are earning tens of thousands of dollars from YouTube every single month, which is not cheap for me to hire, and that is also why we charge the high rates that we charge. But I don't like to promote this too much. You can see the results for yourself. If you're interested and you want to take this opportunity seriously while the AI window is still open, then there is a link where you can apply in the description. And if it turns out that your application looks good, we'll hop on a quick interview with you and just make sure that you are the right person for the program. And if that sounds good, then we will let you in. However, that is all. I will be linking all of the tools in the description. If there's any specific tutorial that you want me to make or questions that you have, put them in the comments and I will make my future videos about them. And I've also made sure to put some promo codes for you guys in the description so that you can save some money on, for example, the niche finder that we used in the beginning, and also other tools. If you feel intrigued by all of this, I'm going to put the interview with Reed here that made over 100K with this channel right here. So you can click on it, and I'll see you in the next.
All right, so I'm currently at my dashboard on smmshiba.com, and do not get confused by the website names. SMM and SMM Dodge are actually the same website. So all you have to do once you've created yourself an account here is to go on list, click on this category icon, select, and here you want to select something, basically any option that says you from with video. So I'm going to choose this one right here, and this should be already fine. 2014, 2017, yeah. Now I'm going to click on buy, confirm, and now you can go onto your product orders and you will see this is pending. All right, the order is now completed. This didn't even take 2 minutes. What you want to do now is you want to copy that ID, and we want to be organized, right? Especially if we have multiple channels, you will not find them again. So make sure to save it somewhere.